understand our next guest is in Ensenada. I've had some good times in Ensenada, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. I expect this interview will end up with one or both parties hanging up angrily.
You go into it expecting that?
We will venture into the unknown.
Okay.
I'm mostly kidding.
Last time we went in with that attitude was when we talked to David Cassidy, and we were right.
Oh, boy. The late David Cassidy. Late and lamented. Jackie Sponsellor, Cannabis Nerd, is a cannabis activist, investor, reporter, master grower, entrepreneur, international woman of mystery, and believes that there should be free pot for the homeless. Exactly what that would accomplish, I do not know, but we're going to ask her. Jackie, welcome. How are you?
Thank you, Jack and Joe. I'm good. How are you?
Super. We understand you're in beautiful Ensenada. What are you up to there?
I actually just purchased a property here, and I'm developing it. My partner and I are developing it into a cannabis bed and breakfast. Cannabis friendly.
A cannabis friendly bed and breakfast in Ensenada.
Yeah.
What are
There's a time in my life I'm going to swung by.
Yeah. What are the? I don't even know what the marijuana. What are the marijuana laws in Baja? I don't even know.
Well, that's the reason why I'm saying it's cannabis friendly and not cannabis bed and breakfast is because it's BYOB, bring your own bud,
Okay.
for the time being.
Fair enough. So
do you ever smoke
Everyone
the
knows that you
marijuana?
can go down and find. I'm sorry. What was that?
How many marijuanas do you inject on a daily basis? That's a running joke I have with my daughter. Never mind. So listen, tell us about this.
A lot of giggling from this marijuana enthusiast.
Hey, now let's talk about the idea of getting the homeless high. What in hell are you talking about, Jackie?
Well, it's a little bit more than being high. See, I personally am I have epilepsy, and cannabis has helped me become the crazy cannabis nerd that's traveled around the world and opened 6 different companies in 6 different countries, all by the age of 29.
Wow.
I've done this. Yeah, I've done this all, without doing. Primarily when I was off all pharmaceuticals for my epilepsy and other health conditions that I have. I got it when I was 10 years old from meningitis, and it's helped my life a lot. And I kind of ventured into different activism groups and awareness things, including drug and alcohol outreach programs in Israel. I did some stuff with Dr. Razouk, who is one of the leading doctors and main doctor who helped push for legalization.
Okay, that's an impressive biography you've got of what you've accomplished. How does that apply to giving the homeless weed?
Right, so we have drug and alcohol, we have PTSD, so I'm explaining my little activism thing. So I have these certain things that I've gone, and when you see, one of the reasons why I'm bringing up those 2 cases in particular is because when you look at the demographics of the homeless population, a lot of them are afflicted with drug and alcohol problems, we know this, and also there's PTSD. A lot of them are veterans that served their country, and we just kind of tossed to the streets and never really helped them with PTSD and mental health problems. And from my own personal experience and throughout the world, I have, I'm also a resident in Israel, and Israel's been studying cannabis since the 1960s with Dr. Mashum's finding a PhD in CBD in 1963. And so basically, you're from a land full of medical research, and I basically taken those things where they are not allowed federally in the United States, taken those findings and applied them to places in America where you can help. And the truth is I know with scientific backing that cannabis helps with statistically, you really look at places where places have legalized cannabis and the numbers of hard drug overdoses and uses have gone down.
Right.
And we do know from Israel, it's a war-conflicted place, and every single person has to serve 3 years in the military. A lot of people have PTSD, and cannabis has helped substantially, greatly in that country with the people that have PTSD. So when I look at the homeless and everybody complains and says, it's a multi-layered problem, they all have their own issues and stuff like that. From my own personal experience of what I've done in cannabis, I know that, hey, look, there's a common denominator to kind of help all those problems. And, I'm not just only giving them pot, I'm giving them food and toiletries and everything. And for me, like, you know, in my experience of doing this Weed the Homeless event, I've met homeless people with the same diseases, or like epilepsy or ailments as me or other people I've served, and they come into tears because they know that they don't have access to pharmaceuticals or, you know, normal medicine, and they're living on the streets with these diseases. A lot of them are not on hard drugs. A lot of them actually even turn down pot. People were surprised for that. And, you know, when they've heard that cannabis helps, or they know that cannabis helps. I've had an epileptic girl.
You know, part of me wants, just as an experiment, to see if you would ever stop talking, ever pause, ever take a break.
She's an advocate, Jackie Sponsellor, Weed the Homeless.
I think my fiance wonders the same thing.
Yeah, I'll bet.
So, does he smoke a little bit?
He's also in the cannabis industry.
He probably should. Now listen, seriously, I don't know what percentage of vets or homeless people are vets with PTSD. I don't think it's a lot, but it is some, and I will grant you I have known a couple who were dealing with their situation by drinking, and they became angry, violent people that they and their loved ones didn't like, and then they started smoking pot, and they became quiet, contemplative people dealing with their problems. And so I'm fully in favor of, if a vet wants to try that, and, you know, frankly, on the West Coast, you can be anybody and smoke pot for any reason at this point. So
right. That
ship has more or less sailed. So the 4 events so far, first one was Venice, last one was in San Diego. How do you keep stoners who just want free pot from taking advantage of this?
Well, you know, I'm in the... It's funny, like the first 2 events actually took place on Thanksgiving, Christmas, on the boardwalk in Venice, and there was a lot of tourists that were asking for it.
I'm sure
asking they can just pay for it. And I'm like, no, it's not about the money. I'm just like, this is what I want to do, and like, yeah, just tell them. Like, I basically give them, you know, I'm Jewish, so I give them that Jewish guilt, and I just say, you know, are you taking this joint from this event, or these people are taking one joint out of a homeless person? And since you're in a position like myself to give and purchase your own marijuana, I encourage you to do the same. So I kind of guilt them on that, and it kind of shuts them up. They usually don't do it, but...
That's some good guilting, though. I'll give you that.
There you go.
Jackie Sponsellor,
my mom.
Weed the Homeless. Jackie, I tell you what, I think your heart is good. And we wish you luck, and we'll stay in touch and see what happens.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, no problem. Health and happiness to you and your poor beleaguered fiance.
I will hit you. Yeah, I'll hit you with some text. There are 5-layer wedding.
Just hit me with them only if they're kind. Because I will not have unkindness on the Armstrong and Getty show under my watch.
There are 5-layer wedding cakes that aren't as thoroughly baked as that woman. That's kind of funny.
Oh boy, I'm sorry to hear that.
So many words.
She was just getting warmed up. I thought she was catching some steam there.
I smoke pot, but she made me want to quit cold turkey.
Wow. That's uncharitable.
As an Iraq and Afghanistan veteran, I'm really tired of liberal whack jobs pretending that half of us can't handle life after deployment and end up on the streets. To me, this would just be another example of somebody's got to do a study and tell me how many of what we've got. Mm-hmm. When people say there's a lot of this and there's a lot of that and there's a lot of this, you're just making that up for whatever cause you've got. You don't know that.
Well, there's some of it.
Yeah, but is it a lot? Is it most? Is it 5%? Let's try to figure that out.
I can't think of a lot of downsides to the homeless being stoned.
Except
that they might be taken advantage of by predators because it dulls your,
who's
senses.
Oh, come on.
What? What are you talking?
You wouldn't want to dull the senses of some of the homeless people I see. Their senses are pretty dulled. Most of them I see walking around. They don't seem to be that concerned about it.
Well, all right.
My question would be, as long as I'm not paying for it, I don't want my taxpayer money going for it.
Yeah, this chick's in the growing business.
I think anybody it would help, maybe it would help them. The people that just want to smoke pot probably already are. So I can't imagine having any downside. What could the possible downside be? I can't even come up with one.
If bums are stoned, I don't see that affecting my life.
Giving the foodless munchies seems kind of cruel.
There's that. Although she said we don't just give them pot, we give them pot and food and toiletries.
All right.
Who's paying for that? Am I?
That's a charity.
Okay. Not, a lot of your texts are quite unkind.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
That's the internet.